Hello, hello, everybody out there. Short notice, but I'm going live here. Just wanted to I want to keep up with my picker wheel with you guys. and I said I would be back, but I'm actually going to do the lyrics that I was going to get involved with you guys. So I could see that my computer is giving me a little bit of a challenge here. So I hope you guys bear with me on this here. So we're going to do the picker wheel. And basically, the picker wheel is, a lot of people will hear songs, especially older songs, where you couldn't really understand what the words that they were saying. And I'm going to give everyone a few minutes before I get into this. I was doing a little bit more other research out there, and I was just kind of messing around with AI from a perspective of what if Nikola Tesla was alive today, and also Einstein. So I asked that information out there, and some of the things I got back were obviously some of the data that's climate change would have be affected. They would talk about that, and I kind of agree to disagree with any of that. But what I found really interesting was both of them were really excited about the level of consciousness that where we're at right now, right? And so, Einstein is basically always talking about, or has talked about, I should say, that let's see here if I can find it exactly where I'm at. I'm flying all over the place with this stuff here today. Okay, your level of awareness today is teeters on your on a precipice, right? It's basically you can't raise your level of consciousness um, and still stay at that same level. So that I'm not saying it exactly the way that they have it here, but let's see if I can find it. That would be Einstein. I'm sorry, I do so much on my phone that I kind of wish it was done on the bigger computer here. And let's just see if I can find it. So, uh, and not only that, they get this AI gives you so much information. It's so chatty, and sometimes I'm like, why even bother? But let me just kind of tell you why I was actually doing this. I was listening to Joe Rogan show today, and he was interviewing somebody out of Hollywood, and it just didn't seem like Joe Rogan. It just seemed like he was putting on a different Joe Rogan face for this Hollywood actor. And they kind of talked about AI. Everybody's always wanting to know how AI would blend in with human beings now and in the future and stuff like that. And Joe Rogan said at some point in time, I believe he said, it's a possibility, or they might, integrate AI into the human body, and to make us all connected. And I thought, whoa, that is so wrong on so many different levels. Einstein basically was always solving complex problems and teaches about our shift in our perspective and our higher level of awareness in our mindsets. And basically was always trying to evolve our thinking. And when Joe said that, I thought, wow, how far back did we actually go with understanding, how advanced our thinking is. And he might be based upon what he's actually seeing out there and what's actually happening, right? And with people and how people are actually reacted to the incident with Charlie Kirk. So, with that said, so let's see here. If we think about, we want to rethink it, take a personal way of looking at it. I believe Tesla would have been really excited about our technology, being able to interconnect, the Starlink and all that other stuff. I do think that there would be more understanding from Einstein with our interconnection of who we are and how connected we truly are. And I think a lot more people are more aware of that than some people that are the influencers that are actually out there today. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, and it's kind of like there's so many people out there just talking and talking and talking and theorize it, and I think they just kind of spin themselves and they wrap themselves around the axle. That's the best way that I can explain that. And sometimes I think that that's what I have done is I've taken a break from all of this. Like I said, I told you guys earlier this morning, that's what I was doing. And let me see if I could go back to where I was saying it's shifting our perspective. And I think we have shifted our perspective, and then I think that we have changed so much, and there's more that we're going to be going through. I think this week and next week are going to be the toughest, and then we'll see what happens after that. But that's just my thought on any of this here. Let's see what else do I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. Um, let's see here. Yeah, so the AI will basically talk about the progress that Tesla would have been thrilled with, like I said, the 5G, the Starlink, and all that other stuff. It's just technology. Um, but I also think that there's a lot more to it. So this AI is good and it's bad, and I could see it was really bad here for me when I went through and I was asking it different questions because there's that non-touchy human feeling with all of this, right? I see Charlene is out there. Hi, Charlene. How are you doing out there? Let me just put that up there. That she is out there. Hey, how you doing? All right, so let's get back to the wheel here. I know that's why you guys stopped out here. So this particular wheel, this picker wheel, is gonna basically talk a little bit about certain songs. They're older songs. So if you're younger and you're staying with me, it's gonna be like Bohemian Rhapsody, Purple Haze, Bad Moon Rising, Living on a Prayer, Like a Virgin, and Smells Like a from Navara. Is it Navara? Navara smells like a teen spirit. So let's spin the wheel here and see what the first thing that people screw up when they are singing a song and they don't understand the words. All right, so what's the first one? Okay, the song "Sweet Dreams." "Sweet dreams are made of these," or it's by Eurythmics, and I used to love that song. And so what is the misheard as "Sweet dreams are made of cheese," and I always thought it was "sweet are made of this or these," but apparently people would hear the word cheese in it. I don't know. You let me know what you think. What were the things that you used to sing? Let's see what this is telling me. So, "Sweet dreams are made of this." The Rhythmics. The correct lyrics are, "Sweet dreams are made of this." What is misheard is, "Sweet dreams are made of cheese." Why is it misunderstood? Is the word "this" sounds like cheese in Annie Lennox's delivery, leading to hilarious food-related mix-up. Okay. Yeah, I never heard cheese, and so I thought that was pretty interesting. Let me go back and just kind of spin away over here, and let's just mark that one done. I see what I did wrong. I put these two things together in the same browser, and I was not supposed to do that. That's why I'm a little delayed here. Let's see what the next one is out here. Just take your mind off of the bullshit that's going on out there today. All right, what's the next picker? Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. All right, so Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. Correct lyrics is Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me. Misheard as the algebra has a devil put aside for me. Why is it misunderstood? Freddie Mercury operates his operatic style. His unusual word, Beelzebub, makes people hear the word random things like algebra. If I can even say it myself. All right, let's see here. I love cheese, but never heard that. Yeah, Charlene, I never heard it either. Um, let's see. I'm going to go on to the next one here. Let's see. We're done with that one. I just thought I'd just come out here, spinning the wheel with you guys a little bit, take your mind off Fox News and whatever else is coming your way. All right, let's spin the next one. Hello, Buckshot is out on Coast to Coast. So how are you doing here? All right, so the next one is the song "Smell Like Teen Spirits," Navarra. I don't know if I know this song, but maybe if I heard it, I wish I could play the music along with it, but I can't do that. So let's just see what they're saying here. One second. All right, so the correct lyrics is excuse me, "Here we are now, entertain us." Misheard is, "Here we are now in containers." Oh, okay, well, that puts a whole different spin on it. Why is it misunderstood? Kurt Cobain, that's why. Kurt Cobain, grungy mumble vocals make it easy to hear entertain us as something bizarre like in containers. Was it really mumble? Just saying. All right. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one there. If you guys get any comments or anything like that, just let me know. Let's spin the wheel here one more time and see what else comes up here. All right. All right, is I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Now, I was real surprised that this one even showed up here. So what are they saying about Whitney Houston's? Let me see if I could find this one here. Maybe it's further up. 1 second. All right. The correct lyrics. I will always love you. I always heard that loud and clear. What the hell? Misheard as I will always love glue. What? I will always love you. How could you use the word glue in there? Why is it misunderstood? Is Whitney's powerful vibrato can make you sound like the word glue. As she is turning a heartfelt ballad into a craft supplied ode. All right, well, if they say so, I don't know. I don't know if that one is. What do you guys think? Thumbs up, thumbs down. You can let me know. I am not agreeing with this. All right, let's see. Let's move on to the other one out there. I see AO is in the house. AO. All right, you guys name that tune for AO. All right, let's see. Pick her will, pick her will. How fun is this? AO says no. Yeah, okay. I will always love you. Wait, I thought I did that one already. Let's hide that choice. Spin it again. I was probably going to come up with something. I thought once I hit it, I hit it. All right, Jimi Hendrix. Anybody out there remember Jimi Hendrix? Purple Haze, the song Purple Haze. All right, let's see what we have for Jimmy. Let's see here. Jimi Hendrix. We got to go up here a little bit higher. Jimi Hendrix. What word would Jimi Hendrix? Well, they were always stoned, so I couldn't imagine. So the correct lyrics is, excuse me while I kiss the sky. Now, I always thought it was, excuse me while I kiss this guy. I've got to agree to that one. I don't know how many of you guys out there, give me a thumbs up if you thought the same thing. Why is it misunderstood? Freddie, excuse me. Why is that one misunderstood? Where'd it just go? Oh my God, whatever it was just jumped. Um, okay, there it is. Jimmy's smooth, slurred delivery makes Sky sound like Guy, leading to a funny romantic misinterpretation. I always thought it was that. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah. Oh, you had it correct? Down, down, down. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. I'm going to hide this choice. I guess I have to hide them instead of saying done. Different wheels, different rules. Isn't that the God's truth? All right, let's see what else we have. Let's spin it one more time and see what else we get out. These are older bands. Next time I'm going to have to ask for more current, I guess. These are like 70s. I didn't even select the time. Did we just do this one? I think we did. Somebody help me out. I think we just did this. Let me just go back and because I know I got a couple other ones. I got a couple other ones in there. Yes. Okay, let's hide them. I didn't know I had to hide them, so bear with me, you guys. Bear with me. And but I didn't even check anybody out on Rumble out there. Let me just check to see if anybody is out on Rumble. See how you guys are doing. Yeah, we got the picker wheel going. This might be the first time that Rumble is actually seeing this picker wheel, and I don't see anybody out there. And let me just see if it's even working out there. I hooked it up at the last minute. Yep, it is. All right. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the wheel and spin another one, and hopefully I don't get the same song. All right. So Charlene's saying pick me for. She's got a question out there. I'm going to get to that one as soon as I finish this one. Living on a Prayer with Bon Jovi. Used to really like Bon Jovi until I really didn't like Bon Jovi. But anyways, let's find out about this. It make great music. great singer, Living on a Prayer. Boy, I'll tell you, there's so many fond memories of that song back at in Illinois. All right, so Living on a Prayer of Bon Jovi. The correct lyrics is "It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not." Misheard as "It doesn't make a difference if we're naked or not." Why is it misunderstood? Bon Jovi's energetic delivery blends makes it into something that sounds like naked, adding a cheeky twist. You guys could go wherever you like with that one. Yeah, let me just hide that one there. I never thought of it as the misunderstood or misheard. All right, let's see what Charlene says. Pick me. I have a question on a song. Earlier this summer, I kept getting the song "Leader of the Band" by Dan Fogelberg. I thought it was, yeah, is it Fogelberg? Berg? I thought it was my dad saying hi, but after several weeks of hearing it, but it, uh, oh, Dan Fogelberg, and I thought it was my dad saying hi, but after several weeks of hearing it, thought maybe God was talking to me. And she goes on, sorry, it's the next one here. Thought maybe God was talking to me. Any insight? That's a good one. Let me see what that one is. Let me just see what that one is. This is so weird, Charlie, and I'm going to get back to you because I was just talking to someone about something very similar like this last night. All right, let's just see where we're going. Let me spin this wheel. And I'm not sure if there's going to be duplicates because I didn't hide the other ones. And if they are, we'll just remove them. And then get back to Charlene 321. Blinding Lights, the Weekend. All right, let's just see what this one is misheard. All right. So the correct lyrics is "I'm blinded by the lights." Used to love that song. I remember it. Misheard as "I'm blinded by the lice." People. Why is this misunderstood? The Weekend smooth, fast-paced delivery can make lights sound like lice, turning a cool vibe into an itchy one. Ha 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 ha. All right. I've always knew it was "Blinded by the Light," but I added if they would take it to the next verse, the next part of the song, that's where I think there was more misheard stuff out there. Um, let's see what else we have out here. Spin one more. Anybody else have any other questions out there? Please, just let me know. All right, so I'm just breaking up the bullshit that's going on out there. Just play along with me if you guys like to play. "Like a Virgin" by Madonna. Let's see what they say about that one. Everybody knows that one. That's one, I think, the song that made her famous. And I'll just end it at that. All right, "Like a Virgin," Madonna. The correct lyrics is "Like a virgin, touched for the very first time." The misheard as "Like a virgin, touched for the 31st time." What? Yeah. What's the excuse here is Madonna's breathy vocals can make the very first sound like a random number, leading to a giggle over the specificity, whatever. I think that one's kind of silly. Not agreeing with all of these, but it's interesting. That's all that I could say. Yeah. Let's see. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. All right, let's see here. Let me hide this one and let's see if there's any more. I know I didn't hide quite a bit. Let's see what else we have out here. "Bad Moon Rising," Creedence Clearwater Revival. Oldie, old song. Let's see what we have here. Was that one up in the beginning there? All right, so the correct lyrics, if you don't know the song, is "There's a bad moon on the rise." Misheard as "There's a bathroom on the right." What? Why is this misunderstood as John Fogerty's twangy vocals make "Bad Moon" sound like bathroom, turning cosmic dread into a restroom hunt? Okay. That's got to be the weirdest shit I have ever heard. Okay, I should have read these beforehand and I didn't. I honestly didn't. I like to be surprised like you guys are. Let's see what else we have out here. All right. If there's a song out there that you guys have misunderstood the words, let me know. Put it in the chat here. Dancing Queen, ABBA. Dancing Queen, ABBA. I can only imagine what this one is going to be. Dancing Queen. Are you guys getting these songs stuck in your head? I wish I could sing them more. I probably would help with that. Let's see what we have here. It's got to be the last one here. All right, Dancing Queen. The correct lyrics. Dancing Queen. Feel the beat from the tambourine. Misheard as Dancing Queen. Feel the beat from the tangerine. Well, yeah, I get that. Okay, here's their little play on it is the bright upbeat melody and tambourine pronunciation can be like the fruit of tangerine, adding a quirky twist. Okay, all right. Okay, let's see. Is that all of them? Let's see if this last one is a dupe because I did have some dupes in here. Yeah, AO says, I think these things are made up. Yes, they are, AO. I did not make them up. All right, let's see what we have here. This is a dupe. That was one of her first ones. And let's see if the last one is a dupe also. I only had like 10 of them in here. All right, let's see. Will the spin hit the last one? Yeah, let's hide that one also. And I'm actually going to close this window because I think it's dragging down my computer system. All right, so sometimes those wheels do, and you gotta use different browsers if you ever want to do this, play this game at home. And my co-host just joined me. This is Bella, who just recently got groomed. Bella, what are you doing? All right, they had to shave her down. She, I waited so long. It was 3 weeks to get her groomed that she just got all knotted up. But I bet you she feels a lot better. All right, let's see what we have out here. I'm going to go back to Charlotte. Was it Charlene? I see Buck is out there. Okay, here she goes. Pick me. I have a question on a song. Earlier this summer, I kept getting a song, Leader of the Band by Dan Fogelberg. I thought Fogelby. I don't know. Is it Fogelberg or B? I thought it was my dad saying hi, but after several weeks of hearing it, I thought maybe God was talking to me. Any insight? Let's see. Let's see. Songs do talk to us. Songs do talk to us. Wasn't ready to do this, but oops. Okay, camera, come on back. Ay, 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 ay. I got to see what my camera is doing here. And there we go. I'm back. All right, so let's just see what else we have here. So this is Charlene 321. I believe, Charlene, if you were asking if this is coming from the ethers, is this a message from your dad? If I'm wrong, please correct me before I pull these. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions on anything? Please let me know. I'm also out on Rumble, and it's the first time I wanted to put the picker wheel out there. I haven't been posting a lot out on Rumble, but I will be getting my little short videos out there. I took a break from X, and I took a break from X, Y, and Z, to be honest with you. And I'm just trying to entertain myself, and I hope you guys don't mind coming along for the ride. All right. And I also wanted to tell you guys too, is that I was talking about this little radio this morning, one of the little recorded video that I did. I am not sponsoring them. That's just what I happened to buy. And I wanted to share that with you. And I was amazed by how many people wanted to get it. And I think AO said that particular manufacturer wasn't out there, but she's getting something very similar to it. And she said she'll let me know if it's like it. But yeah, I would think that depending on the country that you're in, it's kind of like when they make any products, they customize them for either different states, different countries. Big boxes do the same thing. They have to have a variation that's slightly different from another big box for competition and stuff like that. So I get that. All right, I'm going to go back to Charlene. I didn't really know the song at the time, but then researched the words. Okay, let's see what she's saying. All right. She wants to know if this was a message from, was her dad talking to her through the song? I'm going to talk a little bit about that because that's important. That is an excellent, excellent question. All right, so let me see what I'm getting for Charlene on this particular one here. Mm. All right. My gosh, my husband's teasing me. He made banana bread. I smell it throughout the house, and it smells so good. Do you guys do that also? Before I get on with this, I know I'm kind of sidetracking, but it's the aromatherapy that's going through my nose right now. Whenever we have a couple bananas that are about to go bad and we don't want to use them in a smoothie or whatever, he's like, "I'll make banana bread." Smells really good. All right, so the first thing that it is definitely a mess. It was a message. Um, and there it is. It's backwards on the screen there, but they're basically saying it is coming from the two of the roses, very close relationship to you. And it was in twofold. That's how I'm looking at this. It was basically, if you look at the top of this picture here, there are doves. There are doves, and then down below is earth, right? So that message is coming from above. And let's just see what else we have here. And actually, Charlene, so I get the number of 17 along with that, which comes out to an 18, which is 8 plus 1 is 9. It was more along of 9 is always a change. So there was almost like a communication to you with a change that may be going on or coming to you. And it's about something else that is it is coming. It is definitely about the family. So when I say that, it's a 7 of roses. It's family, close relationships, and it's a new journey that you might be going on. I think I saw this once before for you, and definitely is bringing it. It's going to come in if it hasn't already, come in very fast, like a lightning bolt. That is what I got for that one. And so yeah. So if you want to look at it as when I saw, if I go back to this particular, and I really only needed to pull one card, but I went beyond and got a couple cards for her. The dove, there's a dove that's in there, and then if you look really close, it's very angelic within the dove. It's the top one. It's the white one. It is definitely a very spiritual message. I would have to think that if you guys believe this is what I believe, that when we have a family member that come to us, they're always guided along with somebody else. And I saw a second bird in there, so that is what I was getting. So if it was a special trip that the words came to you, there was a message coming to you through the song. Definitely believe that it was, because it happens all the time. You're not alone with that. A lot of people do won't hear some of these older songs, and all of a sudden the song triggers something. There are some messages coming through because we are energy. What's a better way to get through to you? A lot of people will see stuff that pop up on their phone that they haven't seen in a long time. It's the way that the energy, they can work with the energies. And so that's what it looked like. um let's see. It says, I really didn't know the song at the time, but then researched the words. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It was a very beautiful message that you had gotten. I know that my niece actually, she was in her car. She was driving, and she happened to have the radio on, and a song came in through her loud and clear, and she happened to put the phone up, and it was almost like she put the phone up so that she could record the song, but also talk about what that song meant to her and her mother, because her mom loved music. And then while she's recording this, I could just see, and everybody else did too, this orb, this light, this beautiful light. And we didn't know if, of course, people were going to say, well, it was the sun that was hitting the phone and blah, blah, blah. It was a little bit more than that. So it was a message. Yeah, we definitely get messages. Um, Also, and hey, Ronnie's in the house here. I was talking to Ronnie about this, when we get messages from our family members and how powerful they are, and they come in a way that only we recognize. So, if you guys have noticed out on my short clips, I have this little black dog that's out there. That's my niece. I've been asking her to send me some pictures because I kind of pull them through CapCut, and just make them just have fun, keep myself busy, so I stay out of trouble. And I really never talked to her about the dog's name. She adopted this dog, and but the whole time that I'm pulling this work together with this dog, I keep getting this name, Winifred, right? And there was, pretty much, I think, was, I'm thinking, why am I getting this? The only one that knew about this particular name, Winifred, that used to make me laugh was me and my sister. So I'm putting these out there, and then I text my niece and I said, hey, Winnie, and she calls her dog Winnie. And I said, Winnie happened to get like a thousand views on that. I said, little Winnie is famous. And I said, did that name come with the dog? She goes, no, the name Winifred came with it. And I almost fell over. And I just said to her, well, I want to let you know that your mom sent you that dog, because, she really wanted a dog. She looked at many dogs, and those, like Ronnie's saying, there are no coinkydings out there. Anybody else have any stories out there? I'd love to, if you have any questions about anything out there also too, I'd love to help you guys out. And Charlene, I hope that helped you out. You just let me know if I did understand you correctly, because sometimes I can misinterpret what you're saying through a chat, and I do it all the time. Um, yeah, let's see here. Oh, AO was talking about the radio. She said that she ordered one. She says it looks like the same, and she hopes so. So the only thing I could say about the radio, Ronnie bought one, AO bought one in another country. I think Dragonfly said she wanted one. Charlene, I'm not even sure, but she made a comment about it was $21 to Amazon in our country, in the United States, right? And I thought, wow, this is a great buy. And tonight, my husband, he was outside, he came in, and I had the radio going, and he loves to listen to Elton John's music. And this once radio station will play all the music that I like and all the music that he likes. And we're now just starting to see, if we sit down in our recliners, our little toes are tapping. Boy, why did we take music out of our life, right? Okay, so Ronnie, how do you like your radio? Are you listening to it? Do you have it out inside, outside? I just take mine wherever I feel like I want to listen to music. I've had it with television, you guys. I've had it with the news. I needed something different, and $21 was not a big thing that was going to break me at the bank. All right, let's see what else we have out here. Let's see. Let's any questions from you guys? Uh, that's about all that I have out there. I'm always trying to come up with new ideas, and I want to involve you guys in on some of these things to just having fun. I'll get back to the serious stuff. I am inquiring on bringing some guests on to interview. I want to have Joey and Buck there along with me. Um, I've done the analysis. That's me. I'm all about the analysis. What attracts more people to the channel? So if Joe Rambo wants to come on, or if he brings anybody else on, I would like to have Joey G there and Buck. And I asked him for a Sunday night because I know that's when those guys are available, and hopefully that'll be an awesome show. I know it will be. I truly, truly do appreciate people talking about a lot of different things to bring, to make you think a little bit outside the box. Ronnie's statement is, yes, I love it. It's so cute, and it's got the sound is great. You can hook up a flash drive or an MP3 to it. I didn't know what those other two ports were on it. So a flash drive, holy cow. You know what? Do you guys remember those tiny little iPods that they used to have? I think before, or I think they were called iPods. They're square. Oh boy, I'm telling you, it's probably like half the size of this card, right? And you used to be able to plug it in to your car, to your MP3. We have a ton of music on those, and when technology changes, I'm going to see if I can hook that up to that radio, because it's everything. I think my husband made this. He filled that sucker up. Is it iPod? Yes. Ali AO says I have an iPod. Yeah, they were iPods. Okay, thanks. Ellie Cat says I miss my iPod. Yeah, so I don't know, Ronnie. You might know more about this, but I'm hoping if you have the right cord, the right cable, that you can plug it into that. So I'm going to check it out. I've got cables coming out of my yin yang, as most of you probably do. I've got containers filled with cords that I probably don't even need anymore, but I use them. And at one point, I was always looking for a cord and matching them up to my devices. And so finally, I started to label them. Literally, it took like a whole day to label what they went through. I had to plug them into these. We've got a we've got a flashlight that's very powerful that has to be plugged in using a USB cord. You name it. The technology has changed so much, and that's why when I saw that radio, I thought I gotta have this. And I knew it was going to have the newer technology on it, and it's going to be so much fun if I can hook up our iPads, iPods. That word sounds funny to me now. All right, yeah. And what did she say? Yes, same. So many cords. Yeah, what do you do with all those cords? I think after a while, we had cords for we have those little drones and they were, the little power cords. They were all over the place. And then when you need one, it's like, where are they? And then it's like spaghetti. You have to untangle everything, right? All right. So let's see here. Scott says, I never had an iPod. I was still on the cassettes and the CDs. Yeah, I think we were kind of nerdy. We moved along with the technology, and was really sad about that is there was the iPads. Let's talk about the iPads. We went from iPad 1, 2, 3, and maybe there was 4. I don't even know if they still have them. I mentioned it to my husband Paul the other day, and I just said, Are they still making iPads? Because I'm really frustrated with my computer. This is the most money I ever spent on a laptop. Now they're all coming built in with AI and all that other stuff, and I'm kind of afraid of getting a new one. And he says, I don't think they still make iPads. They probably don't support them on anymore. I have no idea. Yeah, AO says I still have cassettes too. Oh my God. Yeah. Let's see. Ellie Cat says, oh my God, iPads are still a thing. Are they really? I've got old ones. I've got very old ones with a lot of pictures. I got the very first one that came out. It's still, I mean, I still got the cable to charge it and everything, but it's slower than I don't know, slow. I can only say that. Buckshot says I like the naked. What? Ellie Cat has got a statement. My kiddos, we call them iPad babies. Oh, that's cute. All right, let's see what else we have. If you guys got any questions, any comments, any concerns, if you're struggling with the energies, let me know. Charlene says, thank you, Janine, for reading on that song. My hands were busy in the kitchen. I get that. Yeah, I get that. And you know what? And I'm seeing it all over X. I tried to open up X today and it was ugly. It was ugly. And I said, I'm done. I'm done with this until people calm down. And I get that everybody wants justice. And I just said, no more of this. And now I wasn't the only one, but there were people out there that were basically saying, turn off your phone, put your phone down, turn off the TV. And that's why I decided I'd come back on here. I don't think a lot of you even watch the shit that's going on out there. Yeah, I get that feeling that this group doesn't even go there. I was because I'm still trying to decode shit in my mind. I really am, and I'm one of these that my intuition is telling me one thing, but I won't say it out loud. I'll wait a little bit of time. I'll hear somebody else say it because it's out in the ether. Someone else is picking up on it, and then I'll repeat it. I'll have the nerve to say it. That's just how I roll. All right. AO says what? No, didn't do that one either. Um, Charlene was saying, thought maybe God was talking to me. Any insight? Well, what is this is a touchy subject because we all have the God essences in us. I truly believe that, unless you're totally evil. And so when people, I don't want to separate energies from not being a part of God. I hope this makes sense to you, Charlene. So when somebody passes over, where does their spirit go? And you heard all NDEs time and time again that'll basically say, I saw Jesus, I saw God, I was there, I felt it, I knew it. You couldn't talk them out of it, right? So when you basically say, was God talking to me? Could he have been talking to you? She been talking to you? Creator been talking to you? However you want to phrase it, but representing it also alongside. I said I saw two energies there, where maybe your parent, where you kind of thought maybe that was that my dad or was that God? Why wouldn't it be all in one? Why do we have to separate it? Why do we have to break it down? And a lot of people will think, well, God is almighty. God is bigger than us, but we still have the God essences in us. So that's my interpretation of it. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. Let's see what else. All right, let's see what else we have here. Charlene says, we all need a little more like Allie knows kiddos. It got to be like children. So let's kind of talk about the children that are out there. I'm seeing a lot of videos out there. A lot of people, I think, want their children famous. So they're all, there's that saying out there as I am Charlie Kirk, I am Charlie Kirk. And I see the kids out there and the kids are preaching. And I'm actually seeing this video. I wish I had it here to show to you. I think it was out on Facebook, on my Facebook page, where there's probably 10 or 12-year-old little boy was preaching like a 30-year-old man. And I get that, and I'm seeing a lot of kids that age that are bringing in the languaging and the religion aspect into them. That maybe they're churchgoers and always been believers, but at some point, I kind of felt like this little boy was mimicking. I kind of felt like it wasn't his true essences. It might have been the essences of how his parents wanted him to behave. Maybe it was making the video because it was very strong. And so when I see that kind of stuff that's out there, do I believe in religion? Well, I would have to say I believe in God. Um, and I believe that there is a Bible out there that everybody, and there's different versions of the Bible that are out there. And I do believe that a lot of people feel very strong about their faith. And I can't say anything about that. And if you notice the way that my channel has been going, I've been praying to God. I pray to God for our family. I pray to God for every little thing that's out there. But is that a religion or is that spirituality? And so I've always kind of shied away from it. I'm not one that can pick up a scripture and read from it. But there are a lot of people out there that can, and there are a lot of children out there that see this and have gone to church and they're memorizing it. Are we going into a whole new world where, I heard Trump saying we need religion back in our life? And so this is in the forefront right now. I will never say anything bad about religion. And because I still don't understand when I say I'm spiritual. I'm a spirit. I believe in spirituality. And does that mean that God is not in religion, but God is only in, or Creator is only in the spirituality of things? It gets a little muddled. If you're an expert in this and you want to come on to my channel, let's have a talk. I'm serious. Let's really talk about this because I think we're all getting to that point right now that we're all trying to we can't divide people that are have the spirituality and believe in stuff. And I talk about the ethers, where I talk about archangels, I talk about angels, I talk about all that stuff, and so does the Bible. So to me it is all one encompass, but I just used a different languaging. And I've always done that because I never thought I was a religious person. I didn't sit down. I didn't read the Bible. I didn't memorize the Bible. I didn't go to church as a lot of people did. And the one reason for that is uh, when we were younger, everybody went to church. I remember all of us going to church, and all of us, I was a young kid, and we would go to CCD. We were Catholic in a Christian country, and we would go, and then all of a sudden, we were the first family in our neighborhood to have. I think we were one of the first ones for divorce, and I didn't understand it. And then after that, you just saw a domino effect where all of a sudden, oh, I want to say this was probably mid 70s. You would see dads not coming back home. When my parents divorced, my father didn't go far. He didn't want to go far. He didn't obviously didn't want the divorce. My mother did. She wasn't sure. They were both not sure. And it was one of these things that they thought that if they were just separated for a little bit of time, that they would confine each other. My mother was very religious. My father, probably not as much, but my mother basically went to all Catholic school. All of her friends became nuns. I remember being a little kid, and the nuns would pull up in like a Volkswagen, whatever it was, and they would all get out. And my mother would always tell us to behave, be silent, and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna differentiate. I'm not gonna dissect the religion and the spirituality at this time until I get more guidance and I feel more comfortable about what I'm going to say about any of that. What is Ronnie's statement out here? I feel like religion makes people feel like they need to look outside of themselves rather than going within, as if they needed to wait on a savior. I guess it all depends. That just all depends, right? How Ronnie, you sound like you have a lot more religious background than I do, and I couldn't touch that. That's a great perspective, by the way. That is a fantastic perspective. Um, I'm drinking homemade lemonade, and woo, a little bit on the puckery side. All right, let's see what else we have here. Let me close this one up here, and let's see here. Ellie Cat. Oh, Ellie's a perfect person. Religion is one of those modalities to find the Christ or source within. Ellie, I could throw you the link if you're up to coming onto the channel and talking about this. Like I said, I'm a little bit shy to do that, and if you have more insight about this, religion is one of the many modalities to find the Christ or source within. Um, and I remember when learning about the truther community, and there were people like Melissa Red Pill that kind of came from knowing their religious background. There were many people out there that did that, and I just always kind of stayed away from it. But I was very strong in my own spiritual beliefs, and whether they whether they could have been the same or not, that's a great it's a great debate. Let's put it that way. Charlene says, Ellie Cat, if you want to come in here, let me know and I will throw you the link. And let's see here. Charlene 321 says, Rizzo, my parents never pushed church going on their children. We all prayed for blessings over our food and our family, but neither of my parents believed you had to go to church to speak to Creator. Yeah. And I remember having people on my channel that refused to say the word God. They would all say the word creator, and I kind of saw this, along my journey, right, through all of this. But, I feel really good putting a lot of my short clips out there of just a prayer at night, prayer in the morning, whatever it might be. And it doesn't sound religious to me. These are 30-second clips that when you are actually reading and hearing it, you are praying at that moment. And especially if one that was needed in your life at that time, you're asking for guidance That's the way I look at it. Um, Ellie Kit says you can send me the link if you want. Can I just put it in this chat here because my email won't open up? I'll just drop it in. If anybody else um, wants to come in, please do. Let's see what we have here. What is this here? Let me see. Nope, I don't want that. Just bear with me 1 second. I know it's right here. Here it is. Hello, Janine. All right. So let me just drop this in. Anybody has strong opinions on this, please come on in. Let's talk about this. I would love to have you guys in here because I don't have the answers for this. I really don't. Robbie 17 says, Allie is right. Jesus told us that we were just like him. People just interpreted the Bible wrong all these years. Yeah, so there is a link out there. One says True Lens, the other one says TTP Coast to Coastal. If anybody wants to come in, there's a small chat out there. All you have to do is just copy it and paste it. Hopefully you are not on your phone, but if you have to be on your phone, that's okay. But if you're on a computer and you're using, Firefox or else Chrome, it'll help quite a bit. All right, my opinions are exactly what Allie's are, is what she is saying, and I think she is in the house right now. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, long time no see.
I know.
This is a good topic, and when I saw you out there, everything is meant to be, and that's how I kind of think. It's not that things are magical; it's just that things are things, right?
Yeah.
Everything is in its place at the right time for everybody. So, what's your opinion on this?
So, as somebody who's been growing up Jewish, being a part of like my friends going to church, I've always been that outsider trying to find something. Because at some points of your life, you kind of drop God because bad things happen to you and you're not in conscious awareness that there is something greater. Because why did this event happen to me? Why did this and why did that? And we all go through that. I feel most people do. And for me, I took a step back and said, well, why is there so many religions? And why are there very much a lot of synchronistic things? There's differences, obviously, but they're cultural for the most part. Why can't we all find God how we want to find God and leave it be? A book doesn't need to dictate, but there are some people out there that a book will help guide them if they read the words properly or allegorically. It's all about going within and finding how that works for you. And some people need a book, some people don't. Some people need nature. It's just respecting that. And a lot of, like you were saying earlier with the truther community, it's so Christian based, but there are other religions that feel the same way, and they don't want to hear Jesus's name all the time. That's not what their savior is or what their entity is. It's all energy at the end of the day.
So, Robbie has got something. I never opened a Bible a day in my life. When I was a little kid, we opened up the kids' Bibles for CCD, being Catholics. After that, I never really paid a lot of attention to it. But you're right. When I first got into my spirituality, there was a woman that came from upstate New York, and she happened to move into the neighborhood that I was living. A big tarot reader, but she talked about Jesus all the time. And there was a question that somebody actually asked her was, why go to Jesus? Why not go to God? Why there's certain areas of the country that people just use this Jesus, and I don't understand that. So please excuse my ignorance. This is my ignorance on this. I'm actually just checking Rumble out there to see if anybody has any comments out there. Oops. And sorry about that. No, there's no comments out there. So that is that's all that I wanted to say is, I didn't if we always said, God help me, God please. It's like you're going right to the top of things, and other people would say it was more, I guess it depends on the part of the Bible. Is that correct? Where they would pull the Jesus name out. You see a lot of people do that. I saw a lot of evangelists, those people that were on TV that said, Jesus will heal. And I think that put a bad taste in my mouth about religion.
I mean, if we look at the etymology of the name Jesus, you can use it in the right will of intention, but that really his name? Is that what they
Jesus.
use in Aramaic? No.
I have no
So we're
idea.
saying a diluted name. It's a transcribed name, but is it the right name to be calling this big something close to God? We're all close. We're all one. That's what he was here to tell us. And his frequency is Yeshua. All these people that are around me, a very religious area that I'm living in, and people are freaked out by me. And I was like, but why do you use Jesus? Why don't you use his actual name? Oops.
Yeah. I
So
see. I don't even really understand all that, but Trump right now is pushing a lot of the religion. So the Charlie Kirk thing, that's what everybody is out there praying. There's just tons and tons of people pouring into the streets. And he was a I don't know what you want to call him. If he was a religious man, he was a godly man for sure. But that seems to change. Um, it seems to change. So this is my thought on this: is that when supposedly Floyd died, everybody burned everything to hell. It was almost the devil. It was almost the opposite of what you're seeing here with Kirk. And it's a polarity of it. So and the first thing I did, and I actually reached out to Buck about this, and I said, is this an eye for an eye? And he says everything had to be done twice to balance out the energies. But Buck's never said balance out the energies. He said everything always had to be done twice, and that's what I think Jason Q used to say. Buck added something to it this time. He says to balance out the energies, and a light bulb went on for me. Yeah, so Floyd, everyone was talking about the Floyd stuff. They made statues for him and all this other crap, and we knew that we knew it was fake. How much of this that we're going through? Everyone is questioning, the logistics of what has happened between Kirk. They're dissecting that also. It's the same thing, but we're on the opposite end of it. What are your thoughts on that, Allie?
I totally agree with Buckshot. We are doing everything twice, so it's done in the not negative. It's done in the negative polarity, and now we have to depolarize it. My only problem is, if you really know esoteric stuff and you understand what you're doing, neither side is right or wrong. You're idolatrizing somebody. You're putting somebody on a podium, regardless. I mean, I had a bullet whiz through this house the other day. No one was going to fly a flag half staff from my butt. Nobody's stopping the world for me. Why are they stopping it for him if it wasn't a sacrificial lamb of some sort?
Well, and his connections too. I mean,
Right.
look
But
at the connections that he made. And people are being punished for destroying all the flowers that they put out and all this other stuff, and people are really upset, and they're like, how my First Amendment's being taken away? But no, you're saying the nastiest shit out there. You're doing the nastiest shit.
we were attacked first. Oh, you can't say that. It's double justice. It's okay. Now we're making everything right. You know what? When these people spoke out, you didn't like what they had to say. We lost our jobs. We were put on. We lost our platforms. Everybody lost things for having an opinion. Now that other side is becoming consciously aware. Oh, what they did isn't going to work for us. Oops, maybe I should just like have that opinion and keep it to myself. If you really feel that way, God bless you for wanting to have that feeling. But
Yeah.
keep it
Yeah,
inside.
exactly. That's my niece. She always calls me. She doesn't know I'm doing shows, but it just works out that way. All right, yeah. So AO says yes, the pendulum moved the other way finally, and that I will say one thing when I watched it live at the time that it actually happened, and then I went on to X, and everybody says, "Well, there's a plane that just took off," and then all of a sudden it went off radar, and then the plane is back on radar, and it landed in Arizona. Was that a bot? Was that somebody infiltrating it? Is that bullshit? We don't know. We really don't know. And so my thought was right away, well, if it was somebody that it was in, that they were dropping off, and I had no idea that the Kirk family was from Arizona. And so then I just said, I'm done. I'm not going to try to lose my brains and what's left of them over this. We didn't know what happened with any of the other assassinations throughout life, and we're never going to know about this one. A lot of people don't. A lot of people claim they think that Floyd is alive. His family was bought off. All this crap, right? Who cares? Who cares? Are we living in a better world? We're headed that way, hopefully.
Are you walking a righteous path? That's the only question you have to ask yourself. What is renting room in your head? Are you doing righteous works? Are you actually going out and doing your life and doing it not just for yourself but for others? Are you
Yeah.
doing the right thing in your life?
Yeah.
Because that ricochets off to everybody else. If you carry a high, happy vibration, even if on your junkiest day you wake up and you're like, crabby, but you're still light, you're still walking around, and you're still affecting the field. If you're happy and you're doing good work and you're putting your best foot forward, all of this outside distraction doesn't mean much to you. It doesn't mean much to me anymore. I used to be obsessed over this stuff. I can't tolerate it anymore because you know what? I have to focus on me. It's not putting money in my pocket. It's not putting food on my table. It's not doing anything for me besides distraction.
Yeah, it is a distraction, but you're also giving your power away to other people, and they're it's just it's just ping ponging, and it's a domino effect, and it's going in many different directions, and everybody's an expert, but nobody knows anything. So
there you go.
Yeah,
It's speculation.
Yeah, and that's the God's truth, and all that I know is like how I feel, what I'm thinking, and all day long I'm coming up with what are the fun things that we could do on social media, because that's who I am. I'm all about changing the energies and feeling really good, and nobody's out there talking about being kind to anyone. We're just seeing so much ugliness that's going to come. I think that it's going to come. I just think that we're this week, and then part of next week is going to be very tough still.
There's waves, Janine. There's waves. I'm seeing it from people that are not really political, that don't align in any direction. But after 9/11, especially a lot of New Yorkers, I've noticed this on my feed because I have a lot of friends still back there. They were basically saying, "Hey, September 12th, do we remember that? Do you remember how everybody it didn't matter who you were, what color you were, what ID you had, what country you're from? When those towers went down, everybody ran to help. Even if you couldn't help, you found somebody to help. No one cared what religion you were, what anything, none of that mattered. Everybody ran and did the humanist thing. They went to help. I was there that day. And then you have this happen and people are like, okay, let's like take a step back and let's like look at the big picture. You're immortalizing someone's passing and you're making fun of it. Would you do that to your grandma? Would you do that to your loved one? Would you do that to someone of war? Would you make fun of that if someone got blown away on the war? No, you wouldn't. So why are you doing it here? Be human first. You don't have to like somebody. You don't have to like anybody. Why are you going out and going, oh my God, that just shows you are a horrible person.
It's because people can't put the damn phone down. That's why I don't know if you saw it earlier, you probably were working, but there's this tiny little radio out there that I got, and it was just brought music back into our lives. It was the simplest thing. And you know, we have all these devices and we've got the TVs that have music, and it's controlled programming from Google or Fire Stick or iHeart or anything else. And I said, boy, when I get in the car, I turn on the radio and I love listening to the radio. And I said, all I want is a radio. And for this thing that only costs 21 bucks, it is the best thing since sliced bread, as far as I'm concerned. I just hope it lasts a long time. I won't know that for a while.
I have a cranker. I have the NOAA weather radio.
Yeah.
But that also plays radio.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love it because I can get updates and events that are going on in the community. You can't get any of that. They block you out. And I'm so sick of this, you know, this, what do they call it? Smart TV. The listening device, Big Brother, that kind of crap. I'm really sick and tired of all of it. And, if we could go back, which I don't think that we will. And I just heard that, and I don't know this whole thing, and it's just another. It's just another thing. Israel invested millions or billions, maybe millions of dollars into YouTube. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, what the hell is going on? I don't really understand any of this stuff. Why the far left is pro-Palestine and other people are Israel, and then Israel, it's not the people of Israel, it's the government of Israel, and yada yada yada, and Israel will be for last. And it's just like, what the hell? It's a mind fuck.
It is. But down inside, we all kind of was alluded to this. We just didn't know how it was going to play out necessarily. I honestly think that a lot of us somewhere deep down remember 7-8 years ago being told these events something would catalyze to cause other things to happen. We just didn't know in what order, secession, or the actuality of it. Now we're seeing it. So most of us are ahead of that curve. We are semi-prepared. We just don't know how optically it's going to look.
Yeah.
But
the whole Civil War thing, everyone would say, I think 107 said that 4 months into all this, 107, whatever the hell his name is, Boots. I remember him saying it was like April 1st or something like that. I think it was April Fool's Day, or he was saying there was going to be some big thing, and that was 6 years ago. That still hasn't happened, but I've always remembered him saying there would be a civil war in the United States. And if it was going to happen, I think it was going to happen now with what we just went through on the 10th. So it didn't happen. People are losing their jobs left and right for being mean. It's okay to say whatever you need to say with your First Amendment, but if you're a school teacher, and it's all the school teachers, because where did all the MK Ultra brainwashing happen? Was in the schools, the colleges. How do you take a 22-year-old and get him to the point where he thinks it's nothing to blow away a man because of indifferences, right? And so that's about all I'll say. That's all that I know. I have not been watching anything for the last 2.5 days, but I saw enough just to say I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And it's let everybody have their own opinion. Everyone can have an opinion like they have something else.
Yeah. It is. Time is an illusion, Charlene. And we have to take our power back. And it starts with you at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even really look at it as far as time goes. It's like when all this is going on, are you feeling your own shifts? Are you feeling a little bit different? I am. I'm all, it's almost as if my creativity, something has happened again. It's always seems to be why creativity is because I'm rising, or my vibration is risen. I didn't buy into a lot of it. A lot of people got super depressed. A lot of people just didn't know what was going on. They went the opposite direction. And that's okay for them to do that, but it's still part of all of us. If we're all connected, if we're all one, if we're connected, with all of our, however you want to say it, it's weighing us down, right? So we got to get those people to kind of come clean. And how they're actually going to raise their vibration is they're going to say, oh shit, I lost my job because I did this. Now what am I going to do? They're going to have to take time out to think about who the hell they are and why they did what they did.
Yes, it's a contract. That's a part of their soul contract. That was a catalyst for them to say, up, I'm on the wrong path.
Well, we knew some people were going to have to wake up, and that's their rude awakening.
Those people I call mission spirits.
But they're all college students.
Yeah. And listen, when you're at a job, be professional with your opinions. If you have something you got to get out, why are you doing it in front of fifth graders or whatever? I don't even know what grade. It doesn't matter.
No, there were a
You're
lot of doctors and nurses. There were a few surgeons that lost their jobs. They had strong opinions of it. There was a nurse that called out a surgeon, and she was fired. And then I don't know who got involved. And then it just so happens that he was fired and she got her job back. I can't imagine going back into a workplace where you got a freaking surgeon removed.
you're at your profession. There is adult standards. As an adult, remember, you graduated high school, you get that 18-year-old, 21-year-old license, you are an adult and you are held accountable for the things that you say at your job because that's what pays you. Now, if you're going to go home and you can scream out whatever obscenities of your hate that you want,
Yeah.
when you're in
Oh,
a professional environment, keep it in.
let me just read this. I'm out on Rumble now, and then CCS 18 says, "Hi there. There will be no civil war." I brought it up because I said if there was one, it would be happen now. And they're basically saying that we have 150,000 people lined up for ICE. Stick to the current event and do not listen to those speculating when the big event will happen. They cannot see, or nor will they, and then there won't be any new intel. So yeah, yeah, live for each day, and I totally agree.
Live in the moment.
Yeah,
Because we're all shifting different realities and different paradigms. There is, to me, in my reality, the way I perceive the world, there's a multiverse, and all events happen. All events don't happen. It's the one that you are frequenting at that we're all frequenting on the same bandwidth. We're all on the same frequencies because we're all seeing the same things. But there are other people out there that are going apocalyptic. They're in their little huts, in their, in their little skiffs, waiting for people to come in and attack them. That's the sitting in fear. There are other people planning their militias right now. Not in my reality, but somewhere out there.
yeah. So I appreciate you jumping in here. I mean, it was a hard thing for me to even want to talk about spirituality and God combined. And I'm not here to hurt anybody's feeling. I'm just here to,
No.
have I know who I am. And I constantly say that we are energy. And when people say they're talking to God, are they talking to an energy? Do they look at it that way? Or are they, like you said, are they putting something on a pedestal? And then the whole, talking about Jesus, that whole thing there also. Um, and I just wanted to see what else that they were saying out on Rumble. Yeah, basically you're saying nobody's going to be able to predict the future or anything like that right now. And we don't know which way that it's going to go. And if you're watching television and minute by minute, news by news, getting the latest updates, you're going to drive yourself batshit crazy.
You're going to lower your frequency.
Yeah.
In order to shift humanity, and that's why a lot of us are here, where the bridges, we have to all hold a higher frequency and vibration. If you're lowering it, it's going to take a lot longer for all of us to shift. So the more people that join us, doesn't matter in what modality. You could read the Bible, you could read a channeled book, you could read the Law of One, you could read the Mahabharata. It it doesn't matter on the book. It's the intention that's in your heart to find the source within. It doesn't
Right.
need to be Jesus. It could be Buddha. It could be anything. It's all energy at the end of the day anyway.
Right. So it really is. It's one of these things. Now I want to kind of address Robbie. Not exactly what she was saying there, though, but I was always wondering. I love the idea of coming in and all of us raising our level of consciousness and all of us awakening up. And I kept saying, why did I choose at this particular time? I'm older. I'm in my retirement. I can witness a hell of a lot more than somebody who's going to be at work all day long and can't even look at their phone. But and it dawned on me. I actually got the answer today. I was meditating a little bit, and I'm not one that's struggling like the young kids are today. It's either I don't know how to say this. What I'm actually seeing with the college students is there's so much hatred that for them to hate somebody like Charlie Clerk for what he stood for. What were they actually teaching in the schools? If I was younger, if I was one of those students, I would have been brainwashed. I would have drank the Kool-Aid along with all of them too. And I remember my niece going to school. I think it was like her second year, and she came home and she was really upset by something the teacher was telling her. I knew the teacher I called her a libtard. My niece didn't understand what I was saying. And I said, when you go back there, and she's going to continue the talk tomorrow, the lecture, stand up and let her know that you're not buying what she is selling. And she did that. And when she did that, there was like three or four other students around her that agreed with her and, basically, applauded her for saying that, because I think that was at the point that she was in Chicago. If she went to school in Chicago, she probably would have been totally brainwashed. She went to Arkansas. I don't think they were pushing it there as much as they are doing it now. There are teachers getting fired from some of these colleges in Little Rock and all over the world. Because they were all. And you tell me if I'm wrong on this, but when you get a school district and they have a curriculum, they have to bring all these teachers in to tell them how to teach, right? Teach this, whatever it is, history, whatever it might be. They got to lay out the information for them. So then they go back and they give it to these kids, and they're just reading it from the book, from the textbook, right? What they were given through the administration.
They get a script, it's a book, and here's each week they're going to break down that book as okay, this week's topic is civil rights. Next week, and whatever is in that book is what is going to be on a state test, and that's what they teach into. That doesn't necessarily mean that teacher aligns with the book, but most good teachers are not going to give you their political stance, especially
Yeah.
teaching. A good teacher, I'm not talking about all teachers. Now, in the cities, you get a lot of pressure because everything is union, everything is, this is the way we're steering it, and if you're not on board, bye, there's a door, don't let it hit you.
Right. Right. And that's why I'm kind of saying that maybe that's where I felt like, oh, thank God, for unanswered prayers, because I kept saying, why did I come in so late in this? Because I could have done so much more being so much younger. And I had such determination and gumption and everything, than I do now. I could tell that I lost a lot of it with age. But then I realized I don't I suppose I could have go back into my records to see if I was born earlier, which way I would have went. But that's not a record. that's not a record there. My records have already been written up to the age of 63. And I could still change a few things at this time in life, but yeah, how grateful I am of that. And that's kind of like what I think Robbie was saying, is that she, she's retired and what have you. But yeah, so I thought about that. I'm not kidding, Ellie. Like for 2 years, why am I in this movement at this age? Well, I had to witness what they were like now today to see this, and it's really sad.
I also think, though, that you're here, and most people that are fully in the awareness, you're anchoring the light.
Yeah.
You're here to hold it. And you have, all of you guys have so much wisdom and worked through experience, especially of systems that actually worked in the world before the digital age, before everything got converted so quickly that it's happening again. The AI, the technology, it's advancing at rapid pace. And I'd rather be with somebody that knows how to do arithmetic and carry over the one instead of pulling out a calculator and asking Google how to write my paper for me.
Yeah.
Like, we have basic fundamental skills. I think my generation was the last to have both, where I had the rotary phone in the house, but now I'm being like jumped. I'd rather be with those types of anchoring light that knows the pure artificial organic timeline,
Right.
not this false I'm going to feed you everything on a computer and an iPad. Seriously, the iPad thing, we call these kids iPad babies because their parents don't know what to do with them. They put the iPad in front of them.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
But that's what all these kids from a young age, they're given the iPad because they can't sit still. They can't stop moving because they need instant gratification. You can call it, you can give it a diagnosis or not. I'm not here to
Is it
judge
these
anybody.
kids there? Are they on the spectrum, or are they kind of, have they been
All kids.
okay?
It's the video games.
Yeah.
It's I need my screen time. It's still very big. And in school, at least in Indiana, these kids are on laptops doing reading and math. The teacher teaches like a little bit of a lesson, but it's not even, the teachers are not even doing that much in that way. They're on the computer.
Yeah.
And they get the lesson to them through the computer. So really, at this point, who is actually teaching the kids? I mean, the teachers are doing stuff. It's not that they're not, but most of the curriculum now is on a computer.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is very scary. Let's see here. I think this is that one there. Yeah. So I'm glad. I've been wanting to get you on here. Also too, but you're back at work now, right?
Yeah.
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 And I was real surprised when you were the other night talking about that there was a bullet that went through your house. I was like, what the hell?
Yes.
That how scary can that be? Um, and
Very, because it was in this room.
oh no, are you downstairs or?
No, I'm up in my living room. I was sitting
Oh,
in this exact spot. It was like 4:30 in the afternoon, and I was getting ready to do my craft and sip. And all of a sudden, I hear this big pop, and I'm like, okay, is this spirit? What is this? Because I've had the last couple of weeks, I've been having a lot of activity. I went to go get a cleansing, and the woman that cleansed me got bit by a spirit that was attached to me. So I'm like, oh my God, this thing, what is this noise? I open up the back door, and there's the bullet on the floor. I didn't even know it hit through I didn't even know it went through my entire house.
oh shit.
If I would have been walking, I would have been shot.
Yeah. Well, thank God. Thank
That's
God.
why I asked you what was going on, because things are crazy by me, energy wise.
Yeah. Yeah. I always lose things through the text translation, and I really I'm constantly praying about how can I get people to, like, I can hear their voice, or they could send me messages or emails ahead of time so I have a clear understanding of it. And I was really, really surprised to see that. I was like, what? Oh my goodness. Yeah, if anybody's got any questions, either for Ailey or myself, but I wanted to throw that out there because I am putting a lot more, like Charlene said, a lot more devotional things out there. And I'm seeing a lot more people want to see that at this time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. It's just I won't go so far into the whole religious thing, because that's not even who I am whatsoever. And there are a lot of people, like I think Robbie was saying, there's a lot of people that never even opened up a Bible, don't, never read the books. And why that is, I have no idea. But then there's the other ones that, yeah, then there's the other ones that basically totally were had their nose in, and they can give you scripture by scripture how many years that they were devoted to that book. And they, when I start hearing somebody preaching to me, I just go like, I'm checking out.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. It's one thing to have an open mind and have a good conversation about it, and not to be disrespectful, and just to talk. It's another when someone's trying to, here's my perception and it's the right one, but is it? We
Yeah.
all perceive reality differently, and we all will find a modality, whether it be spiritual, whether it be religious, to find the source within yourself and to find that you're connected to all things. Now, if all things are connected, it doesn't matter how you come to that conclusion. A book isn't going to tell me, but maybe somebody finds that through a book.
Yeah. Well, I think I was talking to Ronnie the other night when I was saying in the 90s, you had Marianne Williamson, who's the one was part of the whole Truther game. The Truther group was that Dr. Christine Northrup.
Yep.
She was really big in the 90s. She made a lot of money off of selling a lot of books. And, I got to there was called self-help books at that time.
Yep.
Wayne Dyer and Carolyn Mays were my two go-tos because they were the only ones that talked to me. Honestly, well, Carolyn, I was always a little bit confused on what the hell she was saying. Always came off like a true Chicagoan. She really did. But Wayne Dyer was just phenomenal. That's what talked to me. And I don't think he was saying anything different from a godly manner. It was just the way that he presented it.
Yeah. I mean, Neville Goddard. I mean,
Yes.
he has amazing work and it's very biblical. The Curtis books that I read, it's like mysticism, but they're using the Bible, using the allegorical aspect of the esoteric versions of it, but they're still using the Bible. It's how you interpret what feels in your heart space. And you can't tell a Buddhist monk to go read the Bible. They're going to look at you like, no, I have my way and I want nirvana.
Marianne Williamson, which really surprised me, the Course in Miracles. And
Yes.
I'll never forget the one time I was telling you about that woman that came from upstate New York that was talking to me about the Course in Miracles. And I go, what is that? I never even heard of this book. Huge, thick book. And then there was another book that you did all the work in, and I would go through it and I try to understand it. And then all of a sudden they would have these groups and you go to the houses and people would try to work with you. And it's like a cult after a while. But Marianne Williamson really preached the shit out of that. And then all of a sudden, fast forward it 25, 30 years later, and she's in the Democratic Party. I was like, what the hell? If that isn't an eye opener for somebody that was pushing the spirituality stuff, you could be, if anything, it just surprised me that it was the Democratic Party. I don't know why.
Most spiritual people are Democratic. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the black sheep within the spiritual community. I'm not even lying about that. Every metaphysical shop, every event that I've ever been to, and I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm a little young, but I've been to a lot of that stuff. The I want to say at least 85% is blue in the thinking. I'm not
Well,
saying they're not
they wrote
apolitical, but
Hayes House, Louise Hayes. They all wrote these books,
I love
and it
Hay
was all
House.
about if you can get a book out there, you get on Oprah. And to me that was just, when I look back at it now, and I don't believe a lot of them that were out there that were legit. But and even Wayne Dyer would tell you in the beginning, the way he wrote his books, he was not, towards the end of his life, he was not the same man. We are never the same people. But his whole perspective on things, he found his true spirituality. And that's a journey that each and every one of us have to go through. We can't find it in a book. And like you said earlier, we don't have we don't have anything outside of ourselves except for putting someone on a pedestal, or reading a book or something like that. People just don't know how to go within and find that. And when I started to I did read some of these self-help books, and they did help me, but I had to do the work.
Yes, that's the thing. No one has the time or wants to make the excuses to deal with their childhood trauma or with the dark night of the soul or the ego death. We put these labels to things, and it's just, you got to get rid of that stuff. Well, I can't forgive that person. Well, that's gonna linger in your field.
Right. Right.
Forgive. Why
Yeah.
is it renting space up here any longer? And it's not to take away or invalidate what happened to you. That's not what that is.
Yeah, let's
It's
let's
not.
talk about that renting space in the head. So I can basically put myself out there. I was extremely upset, and finding out about my niece and the status that she was in, and I kind of went after her so-called sperm donor daddy. And then finally she said to me maybe about a month or so ago, Aunt Janine, I'm okay with this. That he was just a sperm donor, and I thought, holy shit, she's okay with it. I am like trying to think I'm going to pick up the torch from my sister, when in essence that he had like you said, he had power over me and I didn't even know it. And that's what we're talking about. When you constantly are obsessed with something, and I don't care what it is,
Yeah,
and you can't get the clutter out of your head, and that's where depression comes in. That's where you're just beating a dead horse, right?
it loops. And it will manifest in different ways in different modalities. It loops. You got to
Yeah.
get it out of the subconscious. And it's not to say that some of this stuff isn't because of its good intention. You had the best intentions because you wanted to help her.
Right.
But at the same time, that is giving your power away.
And his response when I did reach back out to him was, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I just thought, yeah, you were really nothing to nobody, so I'm done. It's over. It is totally over. It's over on and I won't say what my maiden name was, but it's over on our side of the family. But you still have that karma. I don't care. And that's a whole different ball game when you come into this world and you give life and then you want to walk away. I mean, we could talk about so many different subjects on all of that ethics, right?
Yes. But at the end of the day, when he transcends and gets up to where he's going to go, he's going to judge himself and go, wow, you know what? If I would have taken this action, I would have had better karma, or I would have had a different direction in life. I would have been rewarded for just doing the right thing. And maybe for him in this body, he's like, I don't want to bring that up. But that's the split we are all talking about. The choices that we make will put you on one timeline or another. Is there a right or wrong? No, but you're going to judge yourself up there and say, well, now how do I make that better next time?
Well, that just takes me to the next thought. There is, it's like we're not in control of anything, and however it comes out, whatever lessons, whatever uh whatever his, I'll use the terms that I really don't like to use, whatever his contract is, right? So he had mentioned to me once before, he said, he's got his own another daughter from a marriage. he's divorced, and he basically said, I was thinking about maybe one day telling my daughter that she has a half sister out there, and I thought, you're gonna make that decision probably not to do it, but God has a way of bringing us all together, and a lot of people found that out through like taking those DNA tests, right? They basically were taking all, yeah, 1 2 3s and everything else, and you never know how it's going to unfold because I don't know. There's just something about we have to know who our family is, and we're all searching for that is basically out in the ethers. It really is. But what one person makes think that they're in control of their family and makes these decisions the way that they do, a lot of people get hurt no matter what it is in your family, whether it's the mother making the decisions or the father or the grandparents or whatever it might be.
That's
Hey
right.
guys. Hi guys.
I'm a recipient of 23andMe and Ancestry, and that's how I found my birth family. And you know what? Bye, Felicia. You're over there.
Oh.
I learned, but you know what? It was nice to know my truth.
Yeah.
As ugly as it could be, doesn't matter. It's my truth. Truth doesn't always have to be pleasant.
No. And I think we're finding it out now with this whole Charlie Kirk thing. We're just seeing the ugliness behind the truth that actually has happened out there. But I just think that there's always a good ending in it. There really is for the people that have been done wrong. I truly believe that.
I think unity is starting to take a bigger forefront, because that's really, at the end of the day, moving up in a density that is what is needed for 4 and 5. If we're looking at how people in the spiritual world will talk about ascension, well, you have to have these characteristics to get there. And in a humanity sense, yeah, we need to harmonize. It doesn't matter how you think or what religion if you're treating other people righteously and right, and you're walking a good path and you're doing good works, I don't care if Buddha said it, Yeshua said it, I don't care. You're doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
And you have good intention. You're doing the best that you can in the moment that you have it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And I think more of us are coming together and not closing out another side, because that has happened. People that are on the fence have opinions, and no, but no, it's okay. That's how they think. It's fine. Accept them. Bring them in. They're in the middle. You got to harmonize.
Yeah, there's at this particular time, everybody has said it, oversaid it. It's a great time to be alive, and a lot of people have said, "Holy shit, it's not worth being here at this time." And it's just because things are a little bit tough. The energy's a little bit tough right now, and that's why I'm saying I listened to Rick the astrologer. It's going to be tough this week and possibly going into next week, but I think it's because maybe 1 or 2 things we're finding out about ourselves and finding out about information that's out there. But we picked this. Why did we pick this? Is because that moving forward in humanity, there's going to be. I think there's another shift and rise in consciousness, and that is so important. It really is.
It absolutely is. And the fact of the matter is, we all chose this. We were volunteering, most of us, not everybody, but a lot of us volunteered to be here and come in to see different generations. It's not necessarily about, you were talking about earlier, that like most people are retired. Well, yeah, you have all the time now to go out and influence and spread the light. You came in a generation where everybody was in a program like, this is how my grandmother did it, this is how my family did it, this is structure. And now you guys are breaking the structure of your generational line. I'm doing the same thing for mine.
Yeah, because this my generation, that the boomers won't be here much longer, and people are blaming the boomers for everything. And when I hear that, especially coming from Candace Owens, and people are regurgitating what she's actually saying out there. You can't divide. You can't continue to divide. Every generation had its purpose. If they didn't have that purpose, it would not have been where they are at right now. And
No.
it's just, I kind of remember my grandfather saying, "Oh my God, this world is going to go to hell in a handbasket," or whatever the term was, and I remember that, or else we didn't have like, he always thought that, our manners was most important for us, or whatever, please and thank you, and all that other stuff that my parents taught us. It was ingrained in us. And if you didn't say thank you, and today these kids don't even say thank you for anything. It's just like, here, that it's expected of them. It's, old people my age see that, and they're just like, wow, but that's the way that it is. There's nothing you could do about it. And it's just the way that it is. So where kindness go, where things from the heart go, I think they're going to get it back. They have to get it back somehow. It might not come out in the same words, the verbiage that we're talking about, but it'll come back.
It slowly is to an extent, because I know this generation that I'm in now, it's mostly the grandparents, which are sadly a little in their 50s. A lot of the young, everybody here, it's a trend I'm seeing that they're really super young having kids. Their kids, they don't know how to parent. And it's the older generation, my generation and older, that are taking care of these kids. And, I don't have to say the magic, what's the magic word? Please.
Yeah.
There, a lot of them are saying it. So there's a lot of restructuring that needs to happen in society.
Yeah. Yeah. So I appreciate you being here and jumping in. I'm sure. Are you going to have a show after this?
No, I'm gonna probably do a video maybe, but I do have a cannoli.
Oh, look at that.
I got
Where
cannolis.
did you make it, or did you buy it?
I bought them.
Yeah. Yeah. They look tiny. Are they tiny?
No, they're actually they're nice size.
Oh yeah, they are. They
They're
are.
nice
Yeah.
size. I found
Yeah.
them at the store. I was like,
Yeah, I bet you they were expensive too, because they can be.
that wasn't. They
Yeah,
weren't that
so
bad.
I'm hoping to just record what my husband is making, the cannoli cake and stuff like that. And I asked him, I said, I won't get your face in there. You don't have to say anything. Just kind of make it, or just tell me what the ingredients are and all that other stuff. He's like, why? It's so easy. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. It's not that easy, because he makes everything from scratch. There's not one thing that is, except for the ingredients that are born. But I'm just kind of reading here. Buckshot says, my friend Greg had a cannoli for the first time and he loved them. Oh, those were the cannolis, Buck. There you go. Yeah, yummy. Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, I'm glad you got the cannolis to them. That's fantastic. Yeah, grab the cannolis, drop the gun. Um, and let's see, maybe we should do my next picker wheel will probably be like weird things for movies and stuff like that. I just gotta come up with some really good ideas. Maybe me and Alley Cat can put something together and have fun with all that. Buck says, yeah. He said, yeah, his friend finally had one. What did he say, Buck? Was he blown away by it? Whoop, whoop. Where you going, dog? Someone's on my back.
Love it.
Bella, what are you doing, Bella? All right. I'm gonna let the dogs out, and I'm glad you joined me. Thank you so much for coming in here. Appreciate it, and everybody that's here right now. And enjoy those cannolis. They look delicious. Do they have
you.
Do they have anything on top of them? No,
Just
just
powdered
plain.
sugar, plain.
Yeah,
If I wanted to add chips, I could have, but I like the
yeah.
plain.
Yeah, gotcha. And Buck says, yeah, he said that they were so good. You better believe it. Once you try a cannoli, you can never go back.
I had a sweet 16 cake that was all canola cake.
Yeah.
So I hope your husband will let you videotape that.
Yeah, because he puts the true zest from an orange in there, and the lime and anisette. I think it's anisette. I'm not sure what ingredient is, but it's really good. And I just wish we had Taste of Vision so everyone could taste it. Um, yeah, AO says, thanks everyone, always enjoyable. Thank you, AO. Thanks for, I don't know if it's really late for AO or if it's getting late out there, but all you guys, thanks for joining me here, and I'll probably see you guys next week. Thanks, Allie. If you want to do another show, let me know. Are you home at 4 o'clock?
Normally, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll reach out to you and see if you're available. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Bye now. Take care.